Hey, my lovelies. Long time no speak. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all getting on with what you're getting on with and getting through the shit storms that we're going through at the moment. I just felt I needed to come on here and get some things off my chest. It's all kind of one big thing that I want to get off my chest at the moment. It's just literally life at the moment, the world we live in at the moment. Um, I'll start with probably the most controversial thing I'm going to talk about, and there'll probably be people that disagree with me. But this whole um, obsession with being offended by everything, and everything's got to change to keep these people happy, and we've got to acknowledge things that are fucking ridiculous. Um, People like Sam Smith talking absolute shit, and not wanting to use the word fisherman and wanted to call them Fisher them and such like. And just basically you can tell when people are interviewing him on the TV how in their mind it's don't say him, don't say him, don't say him, don't say he. How worried they are. And I thought to myself, one day someone's going to slip up and he's going to make a big song and dance about it. Unfortunately, someone did slip up recently. Richard Madeley on GMB used the word he once. Quick as a flash, the twat sitting next to him, she has to jump in and start putting him right. You can't call him this, you can't call him that. So then he's forced to make a really, really grovelling apology for saying nothing wrong. And almost like he said the most insulting thing he could ever say, and he's got to make an apology, and he's got to make this so heartfelt, real kind of cringy apology. And it's like, but he didn't say anything wrong. He used the word he accidentally, not in a way to insult, not in a way to kind of, irritate Sam Smith. It's just for the fact is he is a man. He was known as a man for quite some years when he first came into the music industry, and he was quite happy to take awards for being best male artist and best male song and all this kind of thing. He was quite happy to be acknowledged for that. Then all of a sudden, in the last year or so, he decides, no, I want to change. Everyone's got to refer to me as them and they. And people, of course, are going to forget because for so many years before, he was a male. So when people accidentally slip up and say the word he, they're not actually wrong. He hasn't gone under any kind of gender reassignment surgery that I know of. He is still biologically, DNA wise, chromosome wise, whatever you want to say, he is still male. So someone saying he isn't insulting him because he chooses to call himself another name or give himself another gender, like all these other people that are doing it, doesn't mean that people that slip up and make a mistake, or people that look at someone and know that they were male and have been calling themselves a male previously, and the same with females that have done the same. It's not in any way insulting to slip up. And it's just getting fucking ridiculous now. It's absolutely ridiculous that there's 100 genders. No, there isn't. There are two. There's always been two. There always will be two. You can call yourself what you like. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to identify yourself as a fucking penguin, fucking go ahead and do it. But it's in your mind. It's not in everyone else's. Everyone else doesn't agree with it. Everyone else doesn't want to get on board with it. A lot of us are pissed off with these people that want everything to change, and it's not actually going to make the world a better place at all. In actual fact, it's going to make it less tolerant because people are getting really aggravated by this now, and people are getting really angry about it. If you just left well alone and just went, well, okay, if you want to call yourself what you want to call yourself, that's absolutely fine. But don't tell everyone they're wrong if they don't say it. People have got a choice. That's what I don't get. These people have been told, well, they've got the choice to say whether they're a gender or not. Fine. I've got the choice whether I want to acknowledge it or not. But no, apparently I haven't. I have to acknowledge it because I'm in the wrong if I don't do what people tell me to do. But other people are allowed to do what they want because it's their right to do what they fucking like. No, doesn't work that way. Someone, somewhere, us as a collective, us as a group, us as a civilization, have got to all of a sudden now go, stop, fuck off with all this now. You want to do what you want to do, fine, but everything's staying as it was. You can call yourself what you fucking like. If someone wants to self-identify themselves as whatever they want to do, as long as it doesn't affect me personally, I don't care. And it doesn't affect me personally, but it winds me up when I'm told I have to acknowledge these things. When I'm told that going forward, everyone's going to have to put on an email whether they identify as he, she, him, her, or them, they. Oh, fuck off. Seriously, fuck off. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If I want to email someone, I don't care what their gender is. I don't care what they want to call themselves, whether they're Mr., Ms., Mrs., whatever. I don't care. I just want a response to my email. But now we're making this too much about keeping the minority happy and the majority are being fucked over and the majority are being told you're wrong. We're not wrong. If you know that someone was female and all of a sudden they've decided to say they're not, and you accidentally call them a female name like her or she, you're not in the wrong. You're not being insulting. You're just going, do you know what? You've been a woman until you wanted to jump on this bandwagon. And it's a bandwagon. It's this attention-seeking bandwagon. Like with Sam Smith, he just craves attention. Look at the fucking ridiculous costume he wore at the Brits. He looked like a fucking burnt rotisserie chicken. What was the point of dressing like that? It's not going to be, I'm wearing these clothes because they're going to be available in the shops and people go, oh, I saw that nice jumper or that nice shirt or those nice pair of jeans. No, in their right mind, is going to go out and go, do you know what, that thing that Sam Smith wore on the Brits, I think I'm going to wear that. I'm not being funny. If you went into some places in this country in a nightclub dressed like that, fuck knows what would happen to you. You'd probably get laughed at. You'd have to go home and never come out again. And it's just so fucking infuriating. It's just attention seeking. Call yourself what you like, fine, but keep it to yourself. We don't have to get on board with this. Why? Why are we being made to get on board with this fucking nonsense? The problem is people are going to abuse it. It's already happening. You've already got the guy who was in the news a few weeks back that seriously sexually assaulted women, and then to try and avoid going to prison, all of a sudden say, well, I now identify myself as a female. Hadn't had any kind of surgery, just literally dressed in drag and said, well, I recognise myself as a female. In the mind of these morons that are creating this, they think that's perfectly acceptable. That you can just go, yeah, I identify myself as this now. Fortunately, common sense prevailed, and he was told, no, there's no way you're going to go to a female prison. You are male, and you've committed crimes against females. You're going to fucking male prison. So at least some fucking common sense came out of this. But there was a case in America where a male decided to identify as a female and was allowed to go to a female prison, and while in prison actually sexually assaulted other inmates and a prison officer. So in the end, they had to basically drag him out of the female prison and put him in a male prison. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to get these people that are going to try to get up to all sorts of wrongdoings and then just kind of I identify as blah blah blah. There's a guy in America, another guy that I read about, who now wants to identify himself as an 8-year-old girl. Now, you can probably guess where this is going to end up going. Unbelievably, he's been adopted by a family, but they're raising him as if he's an 8-year-old girl. So he's now asking why he's been not allowed to attend school with other 8-year-olds, and why it's not accepted for him to play with 8-year-old kids. Fuck me, seriously. Is this the stage we're getting to where you can't see that this is fucking wrong? This is not a nice situation to be, that people can now start identifying as whatever they like to try and justify getting up to no good. And I'm not saying everyone that self-identifies as whatever is up to no good. But it does leave the door open for, hey, I'm not a man anymore, I'm a woman, or I'm not a woman anymore, I'm a man, or I identify as a child because they want to be around kids for their own, for whatever they want to get up to. We can't fucking let this happen. We really can't. We're on a slippery slope to something really going majorly wrong with this, and innocent people becoming victims. They already are. You've already got the people that fell victim to the guy in America, that when he pretended to be a woman, or identified, so he can't say pretended, identified as being a woman, when in a woman's prison, went fucking rampant in there. So you've got all these poor victims of this, and you still got people sitting there, well, it's his right to call himself what he likes. Oh, fuck me. Enough is enough. When I turn in on the TV this morning and it's, hey, we've got to rewrite all of Roald Dahl's back catalogue to make it so it doesn't offend anyone. So Augustus Gloop can't be a fat German kid that eats lots of chocolate because that might offend people. The Oompa Loompas have got to be gender neutral because that could offend people. The witches, where when they wanted to kind of not draw attention to themselves that they were witches, wore wigs. We've got to rewrite that, because it shouldn't be that people should have to wear a wig to be accepted by society. Oh, fuck off. Seriously, this is where it's getting ridiculous. Rewriting things to keep these people happy. Rewriting films, remaking films and swapping the genders, remaking the films and changing the narrative to keep these fucking people happy, that keep digging up something. Now find something, oh, we need to change this now, oh, we need to change that now. No, we don't. We don't need to change it. If you're sitting at home and the most offensive thing you can think of that can happen to you is the fact that in a work of fiction like Roald Dahl, the Oompa Loompas are referred to as male, and you think that's wrong, if that's the most offensive thing that you can think of, you've had quite a good life, because I could think of a lot more offensive things that come along in life than that. But no, we've got to jump on this. They'll probably end up getting it that these books will be taken off the shelves. Everything is just going downhill. None of this is to improve our lifestyles. Pretty soon comedy is going to be wiped out, because you won't be allowed to mock or Mickey take or make light of people's bad situations or make light of things, because in case someone gets upset. So pretty soon we're not going to be able to read anything. We're not going to be able to watch old films. We're not going to be able to watch comedians. What the fuck are we going to do then? What are we going to do with ourselves? What are we going to do with life? But then on that kind of thing, the way we're going at the moment, we're going to have no fucking life to do anything, because at the moment we've got a government that cares as little about us as any other government in my lifetime. That they're quite happy for people to not be able to feed themselves, not be able to feed their kids, not be able to pay their bills. They're quite happy to sit back and let all this fucking happen whilst other people are getting rich over this. BP and Shell have announced that they have made more profit in the last year than any other year since they actually became a company. They've made record profits. Is the petrol any cheaper in the petrol stations? Is it? Fuck. It's still way higher than everywhere else in Europe. What are the government doing about it? Oh, fuck all. This is how much money these bastards are making. They do their best to avoid paying tax. But on this occasion, they've made that much money that they're volunteering to go to the government. Well, okay, then we'll pay you the windfall tax. So that's how much fucking money they're making. They're thinking, we know what, we made that much money, we can give you the tax. Because we can afford it, because we've made so much. British Gas, owned by a company called Centrica, they've recorded record profits in the last year. Are the gas bills coming down? No, they're fucking going up again in April. I can bet you electric companies are keeping very fucking quiet, but I can guarantee they've made record profits in the last year. But is any of that being reflected to us? Are their profits going back into the coffers, so to speak, so that we get lower bills? Is it fuck? The bills are going up. But it's allowed to happen because this government doesn't give a fuck about anyone. These and I'm not saying just the government, these MPs now are the most self-serving, useless, greedy twats I've ever known in my life in running this country. All it is to them is, what can I get out of it for me as being an MP? They get 84 grand a year now because they've just had a 2.9% pay rise. They get subsidised food in their restaurant. They're allowed to claim back any of their household bills as expenses. They can actually, and some MPs have been caught doing this, but it's perfectly legitimate, their wife or their husband, they can claim money back for jobs that they do around the house by saying that they are a member of their staff. They're not, they're fucking married to them. If your wife is doing housework, she would have done that whether you're an MP or not. You shouldn't be fucking allowed to claim money for people doing housework and say, oh, well, they're a member of my staff. But that's what these fuckers are doing. We've had 3 examples recently where a Labour MP got caught £20,000 claimed in expenses to fund a drug habit. Fucking caught out. You got the guy that's just been sacked as the Tory party chairman. Again, not paying his taxes, not doing what he should be doing, not declaring it, and given every opportunity to be declaring it, and every time of not doing it, and then gets caught. Then the guy that they bring in to replace him, not so long ago, said that this whole financial crisis doesn't exist. No one's struggling. It's just people can't budget properly, and you can feed someone for 30 pence. Well, you can fuck off for a start. And then you get this arsehole who popped up on Twitter the other day saying that nurses are asking for a bigger pay rise than MPs are. So perhaps the MPs should go on strike to get a bigger pay rise. Are you fucking kidding me? If MPs went on strike, I don't think this country would even fucking notice. It probably would run better if these twats didn't go into work and do what they're meant to do. We vote these clowns in to represent us, and they're not representative of us. They're not representative of us at the moment. They are just literally, what can I get out of it for me? They're self-serving. It's how much money can I get for myself? They don't give a fuck about the people that voted for them. When you've got arseholes saying stuff like, well, perhaps MPs should go on strike. 84 fucking grand a year. And you're saying you've not got enough money to live on and you might have to go on strike. But then I'm not surprised at this, because most of these people now that are going on strike, most of them, it's just literally, we want more money. We want more money. You've got the teachers, we want more money. You've got civil servants, we want more money. You've got the nurses and the doctors and the ambulance drivers saying our working conditions are such that it's dangerous and we can't provide a proper duty of care to patients and people that come to us. It needs sorting, and we need more money because we're finding it hard to live. We can't feed ourselves. We're tired. We can't eat, but we're still expected to work 12-hour shifts to keep everyone else healthy. So I don't object. That's what striking is for. Striking is for if your job or your position is being compromised, or your terms and conditions are being compromised, or your safety is being compromised. That's what it's for. It's also for pay disputes as well. But not greedy fuckers that are already earning a lot of money already. And I think you know who I'm getting at here. Train drivers are already on 60 grand a year, are turning down pay rises of 10%. And then they say, oh, but it's not about money. It's about our working conditions and our terms and conditions. It is about fucking money. Because every time they've said, we will put on hold our plans about voluntary redundancies and stuff like that, and compulsory redundancies, we will put those plans on hold. However, we can't give you the pay rise you want. We can give you 10%. No, we'll stand on strike. So it is about fucking money then, isn't it? Take a leaf out the fire brigade's book. They risk their lives. Every time they go out in one of them fire engines, they don't know whether they're going to be going home and seeing their family again. They're risking their lives every time they go out. They ask for a pay rise. And when I looked at how low paid fire brigade staff are, a starting salary in a fire brigade is about 27, 28 grand starting salary. And then they work their way up. So as they have more experience, that's when their money goes up. And they're asking for more money. So they were given a pay offer and they've looked at it and gone, do you know what? Something's better than nothing. Yeah, we'll accept it. We won't go on strike. Take a fucking leaf out of their book, you greedy bastard train drivers then. Accept what's given to you now because it's better than nothing. Some of us aren't going to get a pay rise out of any of this. Some of us got a pay rise about 10% lower than the rate of inflation and the cost of living. So our pay rise didn't actually make any difference at all. By the time the tax man takes his bit, you're no better off. But we've got to struggle on. We've got to struggle on and try and feed ourselves and pay our bills and stuff like that. Where if you're on 60 grand a year and you're honestly saying you can't get by on that, well, then you need to look at your lifestyle then. Perhaps instead of shopping in fucking Waitrose, shop in Sainsbury's instead then. Instead of shopping at Fortnum and Mason's, go to Tesco's. Make changes to your life like we're being told we've got to. Rishi Sunak, people have got to make cutbacks. Fuck me, if some of us cut back even more, we'll have nothing left. We won't have anything to do, anywhere to go. We will just sit indoors doing nothing. Because there'll be nothing, we can't afford to do anything. We're making as many cuts as we can. And that useless twat doesn't want to do anything about it. He just wants to bury his head in the sand and tackle stuff that doesn't need tackling. And try and be the hero about things that aren't important at the moment. And that's what's going on with this country at the moment. This country is going down at a rate of knots. It really is. Because we've got people who want to basically stop everything and stop people enjoying themselves and dictate to people. Then you've got politicians that don't want to serve the people that vote. They just want to get as much money for themselves as possible. So I don't know what we need to do about this. What do? Do we storm Parliament? Raid Parliament? Do what Sri Lanka done and bring their government down by storming the Parliament? Perhaps we do need to do that. We need to do something though. We can't just sit here and allow these greedy, self-serving bastards fuck us over day in, day out. There are simple things we could do. Other countries in Europe have taken matters into their own hands when people have tried to fuck them over. When the petrol companies tried to fuck over people in France, they just agreed, right, every Wednesday, no one use a petrol station. Everyone boycott petrol stations on a Wednesday. They've done it twice. And the petrol companies lost so much money, they listened and went, okay. And they put the prices of petrol back down. When the train companies in France and Germany try to fuck over the commuters like they do in this country, they voted with their feet. But then the people that were striking for the rail company actually felt some kind of sense of duty about the poor customers in their plight. So what did they do? They just stood back, opened the gates, and everyone could travel for nothing then. Now, I understand there's a law that's been brought in that they can't do that in this country, but I cannot see, I've never heard once in any of these fucking news articles and any of these interviews that Mick Lynch from the RMT gives out, never once is he actually genuinely concerned about the people that are getting fucked by this the most, which is commuters just trying to get to work, kids trying to get to school, people trying to get around and do their day-to-day business. They don't give a shit about us. They really don't give a shit. Oh, we're doing it for you. Don't benefit me. If you get a 15% pay rise, how does that fucking benefit me? Doesn't benefit me at all. Because the service ain't going to get any better. Not all of a sudden you're going to be paid more and start performing better. No, you won't. Because there's nothing in place that's a kind of a punishment for not performing better. So they can just give the shit service and go, well, you haven't got another choice really. We'll fucking do what we should have done years ago. Nationalise it again. Nationalise the transport network again. Go back to when we had British Rail and stuff like that. Then there were penalties in place when you didn't do what you were promised. Because that's what we've got to do. Because the people that are striking for the rail companies are only doing it for themselves. Don't be kidded that they're actually bothered about providing a safe service for the passengers. They don't give a shit. They just want more money in their pocket. But the thing with terms and conditions just makes it look like they're not being so greedy. Teachers, the same thing with them. Oh, we're not doing it for the money. No, what you're actually striking for is you want the government to give schools more money in their budget so they could give you a pay rise. So you are striking for more money then, aren't you? Not directly, but you're saying, well, you've got to give the school more money because our wages come out of a school's budget and the budget won't allow us to have the money that we want. So you've got to give the schools more money in their budget so they can pay us more. So you are fucking striking for more money. It's got nothing to do with providing a decent education for kids. Not being funny, in the last 3 years, kids' education's gone by the by. We had all that time off because of COVID, and then straight after that, these fuckers want to go on strike as well. So this generation of kids that are going to be our workforce going forward are going to be so affected by this. They're not going to be, they're not going to be having a decent education, a fair education, because it's been disrupted left, right and centre. And you've got to feel sorry for them. You've got to feel sorry for these kids. Again, it's like the passengers with the railway. The people that are being punished can't do anything about the situation that these greedy fuckers want more money. I'm a passenger. I use the train network. You fucking me off and not letting me get to work and costing me money doesn't mean that I'm actually helping you get your pay rise. I've got no bearing on it. The management of your rail company, whether you work for Southern, whether you work for Thameslink, whatever, the management of your rail company think as little of us as you do. So they don't give a shit that we're being inconvenienced. They're not going, oh, you're inconveniencing them. Oh, we better sort something out. They're just going, well, so what? You paid your money. We've got your money for season tickets. Why do we give a fuck? You carry on striking. We don't give a shit. Same with the teachers. You've got all these kids that are missing out on an education and missing out on social interaction because they're not going into school and stuff like that. They've already had 2 years of not interacting with each other when we're under fucking lockdown. And now the teachers think it's the ideal opportunity now. It's the right time now to fucking affect education of the kids again. Because we want more money. Everyone wants more fucking money. Don't you understand that if everyone gets more money, what straight away are shops and everyone else going to do? Put their prices up because everyone's got more money. So they put the prices up. So the likes of us that are still on our pay rises that are lower than the rate of inflation and the cost of living, we'll be fucked even more because things will be even more expensive and we still haven't had our money go up in accordance with that because you greedy fuckers want more money and it's going to drive the prices up of everything. So I really don't know what we do. How we tackle the bloody bedwetting mamby-pamby snowflakes, I don't know. How we tackle these MPs, I don't know. How we tackle people just constantly thinking about themselves and not thinking about the bigger picture and everyone else that's affected by their greedy actions, I really don't know. Because as a nation, we've turned into this fucking greedy, all in it for me, it's all about me and no one else. Don't worry about anyone else, it's all about me. And it's so fucking sad. It really is sad. And then you get the last thing I want to moan about. TikTok is a funny place. Some things you can go on there, some videos on there, hilarious. However, these fucking would-be detectives that are all going on TikTok with their conspiracy theories about this poor woman that's gone missing. And going on there, fucking Inspector Clouseau is going on TikTok talking absolute bollocks and accusing this, that and the other of being murderers. Do you not realise that there are families involved in this? You may not like her partner and you may think he's a dodgy bloke and you need to go on TikTok and call him a murderer and stuff like that. But do you not realise that there's kids involved in this? There's her parents involved in this. There's extended members of her family involved in this. Oh no, what's more important to you are TikTok views. People jumping on this and backing you and going, yeah, freedom of speech. No, freedom of speech doesn't give you the right to accuse people of something if they haven't done it. It doesn't give you the right to basically assassinate someone's character. That's not freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is just about expression. It's not about I can say what I like, to who I like, how I like, and it doesn't matter if there's any consequences, I'm allowed to say it. So you've got these twats on TikTok. One I will name now, True Story Lou. What a fucking tool that man is. Every 10 minutes he's putting a video on TikTok about his theories on this case with this poor lady going missing. And a lot of people are jumping on them and going, look, leave it out now, mate. Seriously, you know, there's people that could be seriously hurt by this. You know, you're hurting people's feelings. She's got kids. Oh, I'm allowed to say what I like. Well, I really hope, true story, Lou, that someone tells you about this video when they see it on YouTube, and I really hope that you never get put in a position like this poor woman's family has. And I hope that it doesn't happen to you, because I'd love to see how you'd react with everyone jumping on TikTok calling you a fucking murderer. See how you like it, you fucking weapon. Right, I think I'm going to stop now. I've got enough out of my system. As I always say at the end of all my rants, please all look after yourselves. We've all got to start looking out for ourselves, but we've got to start looking out for others even more. If someone's struggling, help them. You know, it's not just a case of giving them money. Perhaps it's just some 10 minutes of your time speaking to them on the phone, or go around for a cup of tea. But we've all got to look after ourselves, look out for ourselves, and look out for each other, because no other fucker's going to do it. This government ain't going to look after us. So we're going to have to look after ourselves, and hopefully we can get through this. And I don't know, perhaps someone will tear down the political system and start it all over again, because that's what it needs. Anyway, it's been nice to jump on here and have a good old rant. Enjoy your evening. I'll probably be on here soon, because I can imagine other ridiculous things are going to pop up. In the meantime, like the video on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, pass it on, let people know about it. Pass on some any ideas of anything you want me to do and rant about. And I will love you and leave you. So peace out, my lovelies.